Churchville. Today is the day where we are going to print our stencils. So we're gonna kind of do two things first. We're gonna practice on a separate sheet of paper just to make sure we get the idea of how to use the watercolor paint with our stencils. So we're gonna get our watercolors together, get your water, and for practice, I want you to pick one of your negative shapes. I'm just gonna start with one of my blobs. And the idea is I'm going to lay this down on my paper and I cannot move it. And I'm going to get a lot of paint on my paper, on my paintbrush. And you always go from the stencil out onto the paper. So because I'm using the outside shape, I'm gonna go all the way around, off the stencil onto the paper, off the stencil onto the paper, off the stencil onto the paper. Notice I am holding my stencil down this whole time. I have to do this weird ninja arm to get underneath of here. I don't want this paper to move or it's gonna destroy my image. When I pick this up, the same shape is left behind, but it's just the outside shape. The cool thing is, you can either do this in the same color in a couple places, or maybe you can overlap and then go to another color that you think is gonna mix well with this on the color wheel. So since I did my red, I'll go to purple because since I'm putting purple paint on top, it is going to mix a little bit with whatever color I used before. So you can see I am practice with my paint to make this image. When you overlap images, sometimes the colors will mix, and that is okay. I can pick this up, and you can see that clear outline. Maybe this time I want to try it in a new spot. I just did purple before, I've got to stick with that color wheel. So next I would go to my blue, because it will mix a little bit, and I always go from the stencil on the outside. Usually when we are doing stencil work, we would be using a tempera-based or liquid paint because it dries a little bit faster than ours. We don't want a lot of water because you see those puddles, it'll take forever to dry. I can pick it up and move it to a new spot. Sometimes you might want your stencil in the same color, but in a different spot. You can do that as well. It might even hang off the edge of the paper and you might not even see the whole thing, which can make for a more interesting image, especially when stencils repeat. So this is a really cool little practice paper of me using my stencils in a new and unique way. So we're picking one of our stencils and just kind of playing around with it and seeing what we like a little bit.